What's up, YouTube? This is Armand. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a basic tutorial on how to use the particle system in Unity. Unity, for those of you who don't know, is basically a game engine that basically lets you quickly create video games. It's great. It's a free open source software, so anyone who's interested, I would recommend using this to start out. Now, firstly, hopefully you've had some introduction to Unity because there's a lot to go through. I'm just going to assume that you know some basic things. So first off, at the top here, we have the component window, and next that we have the game object. Basically, what I want to show you today is how to make some fire, basically how to do that in Unity. So we go over here to the top in game object at the particle system. As you see, it just looks like really fairy dust. It looks kind of mystical and stuff. But if you manipulate this, you can make this so that it looks just like fire in video games. So if you look over here to the right of the screen, this is the inspector viewer. This basically controls the look and feel of the particle system. Down here, if you go to elliptical particle emitter, if you go to max size, minimum max size, this is basically how small or how big each individual particle will be. So let's say I change this to 20. And as you can see, the particles get way too big. Let me change that down to like 10. Okay, maybe 5. And as you can see, there's this little glowing thing, and it looks kind of weird. But basically, that's how you handle the size. You just adjust the numbers. Under that is max energy and minimum energy. Basically, that's how long each particle kind of survives, if you will. So if you put it down to 0.1 seconds as a max, that means the particles will dissipate very quickly. So we can see that. So let's leave it at like 4. Okay, min and max emission. This is how many particles will be spawned each second. So let's change this. Okay, you can't really tell. When I get to the fire example, you'll be able to see this. This will be more clear. And yeah, let me just open up the fire. If you download Unity, there are some assets that you can import by going up here and going to import package. I already did that, and there's some standard assets here. And lo and behold, fire is already there. So courtesy of the people who made Unity. So we can take this fire object and drag it onto the screen and add it right there. And you notice that it looks basically like real fire. When I first started this tutorial, I was going to show you guys how to do this from scratch, but then I realized how hard it was, so I decided to just basically cheat. Now if you look inside, this flame in particular is made from 4 different objects: inner core, outer core, light source, and smoke. Just to make it easy, I'll focus on the inner core. So like I said before, you can use the particle system to make many different things, not just fire. But let's mess around with this right quick and see what happens. Maybe you can understand how this works better. Of course, if you change the size, it looks okay. That looks kind of weird, so we can change it back to 2. But as you can see, the particles became a lot bigger. Now as far as the max energy, let's change this, say, to 0. Now you see nothing moving for the inner core. And then you put it to 10, and you notice that now the fire is basically spewing up or just floating into the air. That's because the energy is the lifetime of each particle. So since the lifetime is longer, that means it has more time to basically disperse itself into the air. Now for the maximum emission, this is just, like I said, how many particles are spanned each time. It's hard to see with the fire object, but yeah, so each time I change the numbers, you see it. This is just some of the things that you can do with the particle emission system. This down here basically makes it rotate, and this is right here, this is where you change the color. Now you notice like smoke is a different color. There are 5 different color values, so like you go in here and you have to change it, but that takes a little bit of time, so I don't want to really do that. Particle render. Basically the type of flame you see is really, the important thing is this element, flame B. Now there are different elements in this package already, and you can change a different type of flame. In this case, we just went with flame B. And so basically that is how you mess around with particles in Unity. I guess to top it off, let me just add more flames in there. Large flame, and add sparks. Now the spark one is interesting. You just see that it has a much lower values than, let's say, the flame. However, its emission is a lot longer. This means that more particles are made each time that the sparks are flying, as opposed to like this flame here, which has a lower emission. And of course the large flames have the lowest emission of all, because you want those to last the longest. So basically, to get a bigger flame, you have more max size, more energy, and less emission. And that's basically how you do it. Now let's go into the game mode and see what this looks like. Unfortunately, it's not the most realistic looking thing. Like I said, this is free software, but anyway, you just have to make do with this. Right now there's no physics elements added to the game, so right now I can just walk through the fire and nothing will happen. Later on in more tutorials, I'll add physical elements to the fire, and I'll show you, make it more realistic. This tutorial wasn't really that exciting, sorry for that, but anyway, again, this is Armand. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you next time.